Alright guys, HyDra here, and I hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Some big drama going down last night. ZooMaa and Scrappy getting into it over who's the best player to have never won a world championship ring. But ZooMaa's team, the Stallions, also in action. Stallions Red v Stallions Black. We had the elite finale as well, nearly coming to a conclusion. Bush Gaming certainly getting involved in some drama there. But also, when Stallions played the Huntsmen, that storyline certainly turned a lot of heads. Lots to get into. Very much into your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I greatly appreciate it. Just to start here real quick, because we know that the, ranked play is coming out soon, February the 5th, 2026. It has been later in the past, but it's not great, right? Black Ops 6 had ranked very early. I think there is an argument that it really should try to come out alongside the opening of the CDL. We usually get the first CDL games in early December. I think that probably should be the timeline. But this is how it's looked in recent years. It's not an especially great situation for Call of Duty right now, but finally it's here in a couple of weeks, unless there are delays, problems, hackers, you guys know how it goes. Now, let's talk Stallions, because lots of talking points there yesterday. Stallions Red v Stallions Black, they're back. So Stallions Red will be playing in that OpTic pre-LAN, effectively, in Dallas just before the major next Tuesday, I believe it is. Stallions Red played Stallions Black. They played a fair few maps here, and it was, well, not exactly a whitewash, but Stallions Red got the job done reasonably impressively. So these are the teams as it stands. Look, how good really are these teams, especially the Stallions Red, which is, in theory, the main roster, of course, of Stallions. How well will they fare when it comes to the major, of course, and the upcoming challenges, elite stages? For both of these teams, of course, that applies, but it's an interesting question. Stallions Red get the job done there. We have a couple of interesting scrims, though, that are definitely worth looking at. So, next threat, this, of course, is the DiamondCon team. Doug was on this team for some time, and then, of course, they dropped him, unfortunately, I think, for Standy. So, anyway, they were playing against a Lqgend and those guys. It's obviously so interesting with a Lqgend and the Omid team, the Omid Brooklyn, because he had that one, unbelievable breakout weekend. It's not like he's fallen off, he's still playing at a high level, but that got him signed to FaZe, all these other things. But look, he's still grinding down there in challenges for now. If he turns heads at the LAN, that will make people think about it. FaZe, it doesn't look like they're in position to bring a Lqgend in. A month or so ago, a few weeks ago, it was all the rage. Okay, where's a Lqgend going to play for? Could there still be a loan arrangement? That's not exactly impossible, but also Thieves got a good result last time out, so look, the major is going to determine a lot. What was very interesting here, though, is the Huntsmen when they played the Stallions. So there were some further scrims going down here, and Huntsmen, they looked like they were on a really solid trajectory. A couple of weeks back, they were the team possibly improving the most week on week. They were looking good going into the elite. They qualified for the elite. Of course, Neum at that point was nearly going to join the Ravens until the Thieves offer came through. But Huntsmen, they still played the elite qualifiers with Neum anyway. They got the job done, they qualified. Then it was expected Neum was going to go off and join the Ravens. That didn't happen because Nachok came knocking and they did a deal whereby they have first right of refusal the Thieves, but as it stands, Neum, of course, is still a Huntsman. But their results of the last couple of weeks have gone downhill, right? Given that they are on such a positive upward trajectory. We even talked about their entire roster as almost you could see a world where all of these guys end up in the Pro League at some point. Neum looked like he's going to be very close. Raspy and Kips look like kind of next up. And then Renegade, Halo Legends, multiple champion, he was making a lot of progress. Feels like he could be a good option as technically a rookie, right? But of course, there's a lot more to it than that. So a couple of weeks ago, Huntsmen were looking like they could be the most promising team. Certainly, we expected them to compete for the victory at the elite. But they qualified for the elite, they made it to the playoffs, and they bombed out very quickly of the playoffs. So, and now their scrims, I don't know if that result has affected them or something, but their scrims last night weren't so good. And yeah, Stallions might be pretty good now with the new roster, with no Havoc versus Swooty drama. But still, I don't think you'd expect the Huntsmen to lose 5-1 to Stallions. Even the Blackheart was in Stallions' favour. They called in the wrong streak, so that was chalked off. But even then, that could have been another Stallions win. It looked like it was certainly more likely. They're up by several points with only a little bit to go. You can't call it at that point, but you know what I'm saying? It's not like Huntsmen were dominating that map. Both the overloads go Stallions' way as well. So, look, a good start for the Stallions for sure. But then Huntsmen also went on to play Omid Brooklyn, and apart from the Blackheart that they did dominate, every other map, and they won the Den as well, but yeah, a lot of the other maps weren't especially close, right? And Lurqxx and the Omit team, they get the job done. So just as time is ticking down towards the major, which is going to be critical, we always talk about it in challenges basically every year, that the first major for the state of play in challenges, it sets the whole tone, because this is arguably when people are most interested in challenges. I think people will be interested anyway, but even in a regular year where challenges isn't a key talking point, it's always relevant around Major 1, because people really want to know, okay, this team has failed to work in this game, who do we get from challenges? So right now is when you got to try to perform, and I still think that the interest in challenges will remain, just because there's lots of reasons for it too. But if Huntsmen continue on this trajectory, there will be questions, especially if they don't do well at their home LAN. So there's a couple of clips I wanted to share for you guys here in a second. The other development, of course, was what was happening in the Challengers Elite itself. Some of those teams scrimming, they're already out, or they never made it, or whatever. But it was coming to a conclusion last night and today. Bush Gaming, they got the job done. Game 5, round 11 against 5 Fears to advance. The drama mainly here was because it was Eric Boom. You guys might remember the drama between Bush and Boom a couple of weeks ago. I think they thought he was like kicking them offline or something. I don't think that was happening, but they still remember, let's say. And lots of drama from the Bush boys after they eventually got over the line in this one. So, yes, I'll share these couple of clips. A few other big results, though. So, Bush Gaming, they get the job done in that series. They do advance further in the tournament, but it would not last forever. We also saw in the lower bracket the Falcons Bowl. So, we had the Stallions Bowl earlier in the day. This was the Falcons Bowl. And this was an absolute demolition job by PaulX. I've not seen too many series by PaulX like this year, but especially given that between the two academies, it was the QK team that was probably getting a little bit more talk lately. But no, King of Body with a 1.02, Priester with near enough a 1.3, and PaulX with 105 with a 1.5 with 105 kills. That is enough to get over the line. They're close game 1. Map 3, Map 4, though, pretty dominant in favour of the other Falcons Academy, so they move on to the tournament, and then, of course, they went on to play Bush Gaming that we'll see in a second. The team, though, that has put themselves in position to be favourites is undoubtedly this roster, Project Notorious. They 3-0'd the For Fun Esports team. They've been winning a lot of Game 5s. Was not the case here. That's 2 ReeaL, Geo, Big Wake, and Yuli. So, Geo, this series drops to 1.6. So again, names you'll be familiar with, but in addition to teams like the Bush, they should be a threat with the type of roster they have. They look like they might be in position to take it.
Courage, for the Stallions, who finds one, can he find another one? It's Liam. It's Liam who's there, but the Stallions are holding on as it's Heist who's storming through that side door, able to stay alive. Can he get another one as he's left by himself? Yes, he does, and it's a race, Tony. It's a race to that P3, but the Huntsmen are there.
P3 rotation is one. It's one wave of kills to secure victory.
But it's the streak coming in from behind.
Is calling the streak.
Oh my God.
What do? You have to hide in tunnel. You soak the time. The pitch, Sooty will fall. The Huntsmen could win it here. The streak is slower than Benjay in a foot race. The Stallions try to break front. The Huntsmen are here. The wall is green, and it is standing tall.
Low. And down go the Stallions. But what a map, Tony.
What a map.
What a map.
What a map.
Holy shit.
4v2.
Shit on him. Shit on him.
No! No! Okay, 2v1.
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 It's boom.
It's boom.
It's boom.
Oh,
It's boom.
Shit on him.
yeah! Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go! Let's go!
And that'll help them take the game of 5. They remain
fucking go!
in Enigma, and they'll move
Get
on.
fucked, boom!
FaZe Falcons Academy White.
Yeah, of course, commiserations to 5 Fears. That is back-to-back game 5, round 11.
Fucking go, man.
Through this season.
Eric Boom sells fent. Fuck you. I want a 1v1 KB snipers only Nuketown. Play me, motherfucker. Play me. 1v1.
Talented to never win a ring.
He said between me and you. He said if you can't now,
You're
you
not
can
even
argue
close
Scrap.
to my skill level, so.
Damn.
Definitely am.
No, you're not.
Not anymore, but used to. In my prime, yes, I was 100%. 100% I was. I was probably better.
I will say this though, isn't there a hospital right next to your fucking office?
Trust me.
Yeah. We
You
might
guys
be
are
on the
good.
same power.
My peak is not
If you're
even
in the
comparable to your
hospital
peak.
power,
Trust me.
chilling.
You're not even close to me.
Trust me, I'm a different breed. It's an animal out there.
Relax, bro.
Fuck yourself.
Land on a Paul. He's waiting for
You guys
that
both
means-
nasty. You guys are both there. I'll be honest. I'm the best that ever won a ring. That's next question.
Nah, they
Well,
forget.
You're horrible.
You're drunk. You're drunk, Ernie. See, now I'm on your top. I was giving you
man.
grace.
They forget,
I
man.
was giving you grace. I was giving you
You're
grace.
awful.
Ernie won MVP. What do you think
Ernie,
that
you
is
better
right there?
go
What do you
catch
think that
that
is?
ball.
They
They
have
give
seen
grace to
fucking
young
game
players,
like
Ernie.
That
You
whole
better
FaZe
catch
fan
that
team, the whole
ball.
team's fucking awful.
You better go make that play.
Attack, awful.
We give grace to young players, Ernesto. Better go
Router,
make
awful.
that catch.
You're all awful. Get through your
This
fucking
is a
head.
season 1 MVP. This is a full season MVP right here. Full season.
Yeah, I got one of those too. Relax.
Fuck yourself.
Bush then went down to Falcons Academy White's King of Body, dropped to 1.3 this series. It's kind of cool to see the little comeback arc here from some of the Saudi guys that at the start of the last season, they were in a difficult spot. It'd be interesting to see what Kicks could do if he came back, but, you know, King of Body was getting absolutely cooked, and for good reason, really, when he was in the Pro League at the start of last season. He was quickly removed. They made some further changes with the Falcons, but now he's back and he's actually making some waves. Like, this team is actually pretty nice. Here he is with a 1.3, and Bush in the end they don't have enough. They could have taken it to 5, but that Scar was a bit of a tough one to lose. And Bush Gaming go down top 4 in the end at the Elite Stage 1 playoffs. So not bad, but certainly not the result they were looking for. This is the way the bracket was worked out. So Bush Gaming out in 4th place, Huntsman of course out in top 8. We talked about the other day. Omid Brooklyn as well, long eliminated too. But it's 4-5 Esports against Falcons Academy White, and the winner of that will play Project Notorious in the final. So it's been an interesting few weeks in challenges to say the very least. Of course, the other drama there was about ZooMaa versus Scrap. It's always been a big debate. I mean, for a long time, there was talk about Octane, right, before he won in 2022. Then really the talk shifted to Dashy for a couple of years as at least the most talented player. I think there's a slightly different debate to be had about the best player. But in terms of like the player with the highest skill ceiling to have not won a ring, Scrap's been around a couple of years. He's achieved quite a lot outside of getting that ring, so I can understand it. You look historically, there's plenty of other players. ZooMaa obviously is absolutely in that conversation. I think even players like Saints isn't a player that's often talked about nowadays, but those that watch COD for 10 plus years, and also if you speak to any of the pros, they'll tell you how highly Saints was rated, and for good reason. You know, Saints still has like one of the highest KDs ever for an SMG. He did play a little bit in the CDL, but mostly was back in the day. He had some decent success in 2017, but even before that, Saints was a player to note. I think for some time I would have thrown him absolutely in that category as best player to have never won a ring. He was, highly regarded for sure. I think Bance as well, you can probably throw him into, because, okay, if you're talking pure talent, okay, it's going to be Scrap over someone like Bance. But also Bance was second at Champs twice, was a top level player for a long period of time, had a lot of success, so I think you can put him in the conversation. There's probably some other ones as well, but nowadays people are generally debating ZooMaa versus Scrap, and look, it's a different era here. Of course, ZooMaa's going to have his opinion, Scrap's going to have his opinion. You know, these are opinionated guys, so true to your thoughts in the comments. Speaking of opinions, I'll just share one final clip before we close out the video. You guys may have seen this clip the other day where Don was absolutely popping off on Call Havoc. Now, they had a bit of drama during the show. Don was in Havoc's stream. Havoc wasn't very happy about what he said, but effectively Don said, look, what's this whole thing nowadays that, Havoc's this Mamba mentality player, when really he was never like that back in the day. People used to call him soft, and now because he's dealing with Sweetie, people are like, oh yeah, Havoc's, he's a veteran, all he wants to do is win and this type of stuff. So Don says he thinks that was a false narrative, shall we say. And, Zinni and Formula debating whether they think that was a fair assessment or not. So very much enjoy your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.
Did you see that clip of Temp talking about Colt back in the day? Saying he was a pussy or some shit?
No, everyone just kept... I haven't seen the clip at all, but I need to watch it because everyone keeps bringing it up.
Yeah.
Is that what he said? He just called him a pussy?
He just said, like, everyone thinks he's all hard and shit for the way he was talking to Sweetie, but, like, back in the day, Colt was like a pussy, basically.
Really, like,
I don't really remember. I don't...
Colt. Like,
I swear Colt was so under the radar back in the day.
Because he
wasn't in
eights.
eights. He wasn't playing like
Mutineers, bro. He was on like a quiet team with like with like Frosty and Awakening and.
He'd be like playing 1v1 wagers and shit. I don't know what the fuck he would do. He said he would make his teammates gas him before giving criticism. Can you imagine? You just have a player you just know he's gonna freak the fuck out. You're just like, bro, the way you played that P2, man, play that like that every time. That was insane cool. The P3s, I still feel like you need to work on them.
He pretty much said he thinks he has the Mamba mentality now, but back in the day he was soft. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like he was like shy. I also feel like Colt definitely would have forfeited you if you were late for a
Yeah.
Like Colt was definitely
like Ricky.
Like Colt and Ricky were getting a ref.